手はここで出るから Shadow is alive 殺さばめを背負って血となった記憶の What's going on, fellow YouTubers? Shadow Gamer AX coming at you with another Throwback Wednesday episode for you guys today. And today we're going to be talking about a Clamp classic from the 90s. So if you are new to Throwback Wednesday, I urge you guys strongly to go check out the other episodes of Throwback Wednesday, episodes 1 through 19, if you have not already. It'll give you a good gist of what this show is actually about. And a lot of things about this show that I love talking about, which is anime and gaming. And with that being said and out of the way, let's begin with the plot, the characters, the facts. Here we go. Let's get in with the facts first. The original manga came out in November of 1993, which is my birth date, and ended around 1996 of April. The manga ran for about 6 volumes. As for the anime, it had about 49 episodes, ran since 1994 of October through November 27th, 1995. So I'd say about a good year at most. Keep in mind that this anime is also an isekai, so I think this was the very first one notable that kind of kicked off isekai anime in this trend, such as SAO, Log Horizon. I'm not sure if you can call Log Horizon that, but also got my personal favorite, Rising of the Shield Hero, and countless others. Hack Sign is a couple of them. There's plenty of them out there, but I think this was the very first one that kicked isekai off. So let's get into the plot, my guys. 3 young girls, Yakari, Umi, and Fu, are transported to a magical world called Saphiro during a field trip to Tokyo Tower. They soon are greeted by Master Mage Clef, who explains them that they have been summoned to become legendary magic knights to save Saphiro. Girls are less enthusiastic about this idea and only want to return home. Clef further explains that they must seek out the rune gods to help them fight. He bestows armor and magical powers to each of them. Learn from Clef that the High Priest Sagato has kidnapped the Pillar of Saphira, Princess Emerald. Pillar of Saphiro has the sole responsibility of keeping Saphiro alive and in balance with her prayers. Without Princess Emerald, Saphiro will fall into ruin. Hikari, Umi, and Fu must fight off Sagato's henchmen and find the rune gods if they ever want to get back home. They soon learn that friendship and loyalty are only things they can rely on in the crumbling Saphiro. If I'm being honest here, we have seen so many isekai shows that which one we kind of lost track at how many were good and how many were bad. But this one kind of made it good. This pretty much kick-started everything for a lot of isekai shows. Inspiration. You know, if memory serves me correctly, I believe that, you know, for Clamp at the time, the biggest heavy hitters that they had was Captor Sakura and Magic Knight's rayearth. They did have a lot of other ones, but I can't really name them off the tongue at the moment, so, you know, just bear with it. There was a lot of other shows that were popular in the 90s that came from Japan, just like this one did and Cardcaptors did. Notably, Power Rangers was good in the 90s, was actually decent. And yes, I know it's a live action show, but, you know, it came from Japan, so, you know, we can't really call that a Western show. Well, you can now, but not back then. We had Pokemon, followed by Yu-Gi-Oh! It's all standard, you know? It's standard information that you guys know that. If you were born in the 90s, you would practically know. Magic Knights, I believe in a lot of people's eyes that were in my generation, basically back in the 90s, would agree that, this was one of the first isekai anime that they actually watched. They fell in love with the story, not just because of the plot, not just because of the characters, but, it was all three. Like, the character development was very good. The story was very well put together. I think there was a lot of corny moments in the anime, but, to each his own. A lot of people have different opinions about this show, and I don't blame them one bit. In today's generation, people are kind of tired of isekai anime because it's been overused for the past 20 years. And I wouldn't blame them if they didn't check this one out or even heard about it. So, to each his own, I suppose. Not only that, but I believe that the animation style of basically all the 90s shows, including this one, was at its peak. I like, to be completely honest with every one of you, I kind of like the 90s style animation than I do the ones that are right now. Because they got into a lot of detail. Detail that's not really noticeable, but it mattered to a lot of other people that watched anime back in the 90s and 80s and so on and so forth. 70s, 60s. There was a lot of different shows that were good in its own right. And for me, the anime in the 90s, the animation style was so great, that was so good. It was at its peak. Now it's just kind of washed out, a little bit okay, I'd say okay, but kind of washed out for the most part. Biggest example I can use is Pokemon. You guys remember the first season of Pokemon? Compare that to what you're seeing now. That's what I mean. Exactly what I mean. Dude! Who stomped this dude over with an ironing board? And I know that there's a lot of different shows that's kept the same style, and for that I'm very freaking grateful. At least put some effort into these animations, for crying out loud. Jesus.
What the fuck was that?
And I also remember that they had opening themes and translations. That was pretty cool. Like, I remember growing up in the 90s, and I used to, watch different shows that had English vocals on these openings and ending themes, which I thought were very unique at the time, and I really wish they'd do it a lot more often than they do now. They just kind of stopped after a while, just like that. And I would recommend this show. For longtime fans, not so much as new ones for those that are tired of isekai. There's a very few that would probably get into it at this day and age. So the anime had 2 seasons, the first half and the second half. I appreciated the second half more than I did the first half, mainly because the story got interesting when the second half hit. Not only that, but I believe that you also have to take into account the first half, because without the first half, the second half wouldn't make sense. So I can appreciate that first half much more than I did, the second half. It's complicated, but the end result is the same. I really enjoyed this show to a great extent, and I still come back to it every now and then. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of older anime. You can always rewatch it. You can always go back and watch it and enjoy it in the same way that you have in the past. It's timeless. That's why I'm so pissed off at what Disney's doing with their classics, because they're timeless. You can't put a price. You can't remake timeless classics. You can't. It's like it's as if trying to make Magic Knights into a live action adaptation movie. That doesn't work that way, Pippin. But you all know my feelings about it. I'm not gonna stress it any further. But that's the thing. The best part about anime in general, and anime that's been around for almost 30, 25 to almost 20 years in the making. 25 actually, 30, is you can always go back and rewatch it and enjoy it in the same manner that you have in the past. That is something that I love to do on my spare time. It's a great experience. You relive your past. You relive your best shows that you enjoyed as a kid. That's saying something. Thank you guys so much for watching Throwback Wednesday episode 20. And stay tuned for the season's finale because we're going to have something very special coming your way. I can't say enough of what it is, but I'm going to be completely honest. It's going to blow your mind. So, like, share, hit that notification bell, and be sure to tune in next Wednesday for this season finale. I also wanted to keep this episode very short and sweet, so if you guys want to see the actors and who plays who, it'll be linked in the description down below, guys. Thank you all so much for supporting this channel and supporting Throwback Wednesday in general. You guys are amazing, and I can't thank you all enough for all you're doing to support the channel and supporting this show that I always love doing. With the bottom of my heart, guys, thank you so much, and be sure to tune in for the next one.